All right. This next project is the team project for my Game 100 class DigiPen with three other people. Our team name, Team Tria, is in Greek, which means three. And here you can see that this is actually a demo of the full release that I've been working on that will eventually be published whenever I get around to it, where I added a save system. So as you can see here, continues actually custom made, as well as a level select screen, which I'll quickly show off now. Here you can see all of these levels here that I have handcrafted, and they are somewhat decent. I try my best at level design, but then again, this was my how do I say, probably like the second time doing real level design. Um, and I try to follow some level design principles of introducing mechanics slowly, introducing it, and then giving it a twist for the third iteration, as well as kind of having the tutorialization of showing the different just mechanics at the start. Um, as well here you can also see that I save the time it took you to complete as well as the number of steps, as I currently have a save file that I wonder if I can open up. No, it does lock the mouse here. Oops, I accidentally opened up a level. Luckily I can escape and I'll go back. Um, yeah, so I guess let's just get started on the first level here. And I'll show it from there. So here we go. We got WASD or arrow keys to move, and you have a certain number of steps at the top of the screen. So if I run out of those steps, it will end the game, or it'll restart the level. The music will get a little stressful. And those lights at the end are the goals. This level here is to introduce the just restart button. I'm just trying to be amazed. Helping you get lost and like, I see. I got to dead end. I just want to restart and press R to do that. However, most playtests I did after the fact didn't really do that, but I don't think people use the restart button anyway, so it's not that important. This level here was to introduce the actual this time the steps. As over here, you can see a path that goes up here at the start, but also it's kind of hinted at like, oh, maybe you should go up there, whereas the left path is kind of more obvious. So maybe people will go up here at the start, and then they try to do this, but the path is actually longer than the number of steps needed to complete the level, and it will force them to end it. Through a few play tests I've done, not actual playtest. This is more after the fact of the game that was completed. I didn't even know that playtest was an option. But yeah, later on I had people play the game. I kind of saw like 50-50 of people going either up or down. This level here introduces the trapdoor mechanic. As you can see, if you walk on it as it's about to fall, it will collapse, and you will have to wait for it to finish its cycle. So there we go, I can walk on that one. And then I might need to wait. Not good. There we go, I can walk on it now. It's going to open up as I walk onto it and go through. If I did redo this game, I'd probably have show more that you can walk on it or just move onto it while it's in this state here, slightly transparent. Some people wait for it to be fully opaque before they do decide to walk on it, which means they only have one friend walk on it, which isn't intentional, as a lot of level design doesn't work if that's your mindset. And then you can get through to the end here, and then the level will be over. There is a slight programming error, or I guess bug, where if you walk fast enough, you can skip over the trapdoor tiles, which is unintentional, of course, but is pretty interesting as it's used in a speedrun that I've done of the game before. Um, and then here, this introduces the ice tiles. This was really just some random tile I wanted to add in. And I really like the reflection texture that I added on, that it just offsets slightly depending on its position from the camera. And here's kind of a puzzle, or ice puzzle, that I don't think is really well designed, as I just placed random stuff around and then tried to find a solution. And when I did, I'm like, okay, cool, good. And make sure there wasn't multiple solutions. But yeah, because of that, I don't feel like it's the best puzzle. This level introduces the enemies, triangles. They were originally actually like four triangles put together, but that looked too much like a Triforce, so we had to remove it and just make it a solid triangle. But I think it works fine either way. This one kind of just feels more natural in the form of everything is either squares, and that's the one thing that's a triangle. So having it also be a basic geometric shape works well for the just art style of the game. And then a lot of the level design was kind of somewhat inspired by a Flash game called World's Hardest Game. Around this section here is very uh, reminiscent of said game. Uh, and we can get past that with the ice and then reach the end here without running out of steps. This level actually introduces keys for the first time, or at least that's what we call them. They kind of look like crystals. Maybe they're power crystals that charge the exit, as that's what they do. You need to reach the end, you need to have all of the keys. However, we don't actually have a key counter at all, so you kind of have to pick them up and then guess that that's the number that you need before you reach the exit. Um, yeah, I guess for the final release, I'll probably maybe add a counter or something for that. As we got 3 for this level, but other levels may not need 3. Maybe they need 2 or 1 or 5. It's really dependent on whatever I was feeling at that time. I probably should have waited. I went the other way. Yeah, this level was definitely inspired by World's Hardest Game, and is pretty tough if you haven't memorized it like I have. One thing I did add into the code was a way to like make movement faster, kind of for speedrunners, kind of just for myself, or just polish in general. Whereas if you press a movement button after or mid animation, as long as you are more than half way through your animation, it will skip the rest of it and move you. So that's why I'm moving faster here. I guess I should probably mention what we just saw. Here we got doors. So if you press the pressure plate, it will open up the door for a given number of frames or main steps, which you can see at the top. It has a color indicator of how long that door will be open for. And I feel like it is not the best indicator. Yes, if you have multiple doors open at the same time, it kind of, well, ruins it. I did this wrong. Let me hit R to restart. This level is really poorly designed. More the fact that it wasn't designed, it was created, and that was it. So yeah, this is the easiest way to solve said puzzle. I believe just go up, down, up, down. No, I did mess it up. I was supposed to go to the left and then up, down. Oh well. Luckily, I have the restart key again. I don't think I'm going to play through all the levels. I think I have 20. And at some point, there's a huge cutoff to where people don't get engaged anymore and they just kind of want to stop playing, which makes sense because they're kind of just arbitrary levels. Some of them introduce new mechanics, like this one. I hate this one. If I hit, there we go, F12, no, F1. that will skip the level. That one is just press a bunch of pressure plates in the right order and then you can get it out. It is really bad. I should remove that one. This one's fairly fine. I find some people enjoy this level. You just gotta press all the pressure plates to unlock the exit, or at least the doors that are blocking the exit. And then you need to get all the keys before you can reach the exit. So this is the third and last button. And then I think if I go here, no, that didn't work. Oh well, I'll go down the proper way. Or at least how I envisioned the proper way was. There we go. And that should be all the keys. And I should be able to go up here and snake around. Ah, I see. I've lost a number of steps. Oh, just imagine that I won. Luckily I have debug keys on. As you can see at the top, I have a frame rate, average frame rate, and steps for the level that you've taken. And I think that's probably my last level before I end it. There's a lot more, and it kind of just gets bigger and bigger. But there's no more new mechanics after what you've seen. It kind of just is there for taking up space, I guess. That's what we want to call it. Yeah, let me try that one more time. This is one of the levels I sped run before. Let's see if I can play it fairly fast, just for you. One annoying thing about the speedrun of this game is somehow when you step on a pressure plate, you lose a few frames. And if you try to quickly move off of a pressure plate, it doesn't react to your movement right away. So you kind of have to wait a bit, play it cool, or else you will have lost an input and you're already expecting to be on the next tile, like I was there previously and just died. I guess I should say one more thing about the game in general, and less about the level design. Is this whole game is pseudo 3D. Uh, as you can tell, it looks 3D, but it's actually not. The whole engine that we're given was called Alpha Engine, and it's very similar to C processing. Um, but the fact is, this engine only had 2D real properties. One thing that it did have was primitive drawing, which helped out a lot in terms of this entire game. So we could draw a square and just change its vertices. Um, However, if we wanted to texture the square, we would have you would be able to see where the two triangle meshes actually are in that shape. So what we decided to do is make everything just a solid color to hide that fact. And then we just did a bunch of matrixy math to figure out where the actual vertices of the meshes should be. And that is what I've lost. And that is pretty much what this game is. Just a lot of matrixy multiplication, figuring out camera stuff, positions. All these really are just extruded squares going up and down for the holes and for the walls. That's all it is for 3D. The main thing that was really hard to get right is actually the shadows that you can see, because those overlap the walls, and you have to figure out where to draw a shadow and when to do that. And that whole thing was... Should have waited there. Oh well, I'll end it there. But yeah, that's pretty much the rest of the game. I do have a credits. I don't know if I need to show it off, but yeah, I was the technical lead on this. Kenneth, graphics, audio, Luke, and then the rest of the DigiPen staff. Uh, but yeah, I probably rambled on a lot. If you want to know more about this, definitely read it up on my website, which is either up now or eventually. All right, thank you, and see you next time. I can exit out of this game quickly. Goodbye.